Today we have the Fallkniven DC4 and CC4, probably the most popular and well-known pocket or field sharpening stones in the world, although that title is not deserved in the slightest, in my opinion. There's not going to be any sharpening demonstrations in this video. If you want to see some sharpening, then go and look at either of my previous recent videos on the workshop field sharpener or the double stuff 2. I've done some sharpening in those. I'm just going to talk about these ones today. I got my first DC4 back in 2010, which is actually this one. I ended up buying a few of them and returning them because I kept having quality control issues with them. And I just dug out the emails all the way back from 2010 that show my returns process. And I got them from the Woodland Ways Bushcraft and Survival Amazon Marketplace store. And I kept getting real low spots. They were concave in the width dimension, which you can see in this photo. There's lots of steel build-up on all those specks in the center. Those were high spots. Just specks of high spots in the center in that concave area, and then on the top and bottom you can see where all the steel is building up because the blade just isn't contacting the centerpiece. There's also chips on the far left and a chip on the bottom right. They eventually ended up returning a few of these. I kept having the same issue, and then I got this one and I just got fed up of sending them back at that point. So this, you can see, looks different from the one in the photo. And I believe what happened here is this is like an original OG DC4. And the one in the photo, I think, may have been on a boundary of changing their ceramic type. So this is a completely non-porous, it's really smooth. And okay, yeah, it's been burnished a bit over the years. But it's completely different. You can see along the edge side of it. You know. This is ultra porous, this is a modern one. This is the old one I got back over a decade ago. Now this clearly has a ton of issues too. I think this is the side that was glued to the ceramic, to the diamond, and this is the side that was previously exposed for sharpening. And you can, yeah, it's quite clear to see that that was never suitable for sharpening on. But I just couldn't be bothered to keep sending them back. There's chips in it. There's this, all these edges and ridges. You can see this looks like shrinkage across here. It's, you know, it was just terrible. The unfortunate thing is though, the smoothness of this was actually quite nice. If you could get these, I've got a couple of these, and if you spend enough time lapping them, you do get a real nice surface on them. So this was the original diamond, and I still have this original diamond piece. It's still going. It's very smooth now. Over the years, I ended up buying more DC4s because I hadn't learnt much about what was available at this point. And I found out that the ceramic had changed drastically. You can see this is completely different. It's very porous, and I don't like it in the slightest. However, it is flat and free of defects, which is nice. I suspect that they were having issues with this ceramic, which is probably why they moved over to this one. And I'm not going to bother putting a straight edge across this because I'm too lazy to show that. But I can assure you that this is dead flat, and this is coming from someone who hates them. So. This one is not dead flat in any dimension. I really don't like the ceramic side on the DC4. I don't like the feedback of it when sharpening. It just feels, you can feel that porousness, and it feels like it should be cutting faster than it does. I don't have a complaint with the speed it cuts, just that it just feels all wrong. I hate it. Really nasty. Eventually this ceramic piece came off, and I realized that I didn't miss it. I really liked this bedded in, very fine diamond plate, and I glued a piece of leather to it. At the time, I, for some reason, decided to use coarse side leather. I didn't know any better at the time. And I put some 4 micron diamond compound on it, and I got on with this quite well. The diamond sides are not very good. The bonding of the diamond is not very good. They strip off quickly. and the particle distribution is not very good. There's some whopper particles in there and some real small ones. That's an issue you get with cheaper diamond plates. The DMT plates have a lot of that issue. They need a lot of bedding in, but a lot of other plates don't. Atoma plates come basically pre-bedded in. They're great. And surprisingly, the workshop plates are really nice. Really, really, really nice. This kit is only £30 and you get 2 plates. The DC4, which in my opinion only half of it is even usable, the diamond, that's £20. So just get a workshop, take the plates off it, and stick them together. The DC4 is real bad. The scratch pattern you get from it's terrible. Everything about it, ugh, makes me shudder. So we'll just move over to the CC4 real quick, and it's kind of a bit, I don't know, I think it's a bit stupid, right? So the DC4, diamond, coarse ceramic. CC4, coarse ceramic, exactly the same, fine ceramic. So if you bundle both of these together, which is a very reasonable thing to do in my opinion, half of your stone is useless. So you have 2 stones with 4 sides, but only 3 different sides. It just, you know, it's really stupid, really stupid. At first, when I used these a lot, I really hated this fine side as well. I had used the double stuff a lot, and I really loved the Spyderco fine and ultra fine ceramics, and I hated this in comparison. But I lapped it on silicon carbide, and it kind of burnished it a bit, and I really like it now. It's very usable, but nowhere near as good as the Spyderco one. And I think the CC4 on its own is junk because I don't like the coarse side, so that means that you only have the fine side. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's really silly. So now we're really nitpicking now, and we're going to get over to the pouches. So the pouches, who knows what they're going to be like on any given day? Fallkniven do whatever they feel like. Okay, so these are different models, right? DC4 and CC4. But they are completely different. Look how thick the leather is on this. So they're the same thickness, right? So you wouldn't be expecting different sheaths other than a different stamp. The CC4 sheath is kind of okay. It holds the stone. The DC4 sheath is utterly useless. Much like the double stuff sheaths, I would definitely say don't use these for stropping on. So I'm not being anti-Fallkniven here. I'm just anti-stropping on this thing. You just can't do it. The other obvious issue of this is being coarse leather and being like a bushcraft thing realistically, but let's say a field sharpening kit. This is going to be going in your pocket, it's going to be going on the floor in your bag, and it's going to pick up bits of grit and gravel and sand, and they're going to embed in there. And then when you strop, you're going to put a huge scratch right in your apex, and you don't want that. It's insane. So then you're going to end up carrying it in a bag like this, and why don't you just put a strop in a bag? It's really useless. Really, really, really useless. I would not buy a DC4 or a CC4. If you have one and you use it and you like it, that's fine. If you don't have one, don't go buying one. If you're looking for an alternative to these in the same price point, then I would suggest getting like a single DMT 1x4 inch plate and sticking some basswood on the back, or a workshop field sharpener. If you want the best thing you can get, then get a double stuff too.